We begin tonight, though, with serious questions about security in Afghanistan. The Taliban is claiming credit for a suicide bombing that killed 7 CIA employees, including the CIA's chief of post there. The big question tonight, how did a suicide bomber get deep inside a fortified military base near the border with Pakistan? The CIA says the attacks will be avenged. Chris Lawrence reports now on one of the deadliest days in the history of the CIA.
Unlike their military counterparts in Afghanistan, CIA workers serve in the shadows, their names unknown to most Americans. Some gather intelligence, others analyze the intel or recruit Afghans to the American side. Now, 7 are dead, 6 wounded, and a U.S. intelligence official is promising revenge. Quote, "This attack will be avenged through successful, aggressive counterterrorism operations." On Wednesday, a single suicide bomber got onto this American base in eastern Afghanistan. A U.S. official described it as a crucial base where the CIA monitored the Pakistani border and conducted intelligence operations.
Even going back as far as 2004, Khost was a very active forward operating base because of its proximity to the tribal areas of Pakistan.
CNN contributor Fran Townsend visited the base as President Bush's Homeland Security advisor. She says it was targeted because it's not a military base.
I believe that this was a very deliberate strategy on the part of the Taliban to push back on President Obama's strategy to increase the number of civilians and increase the civilian component.
President Obama recently announced a civilian surge to train more forces and improve living conditions in Afghanistan. Thursday, he wrote a letter to all CIA workers, honoring those who died and telling others, quote, "Your triumphs and even your names may be unknown to your fellow Americans, but your service is deeply appreciated."
Now, the Taliban claimed that they got an Afghan army soldier to put on a suicide vest, and he blew himself up inside the American base. Now, if he was really wearing an Afghan army uniform, investigators are going to have to determine whether it was stolen or, even worse, whether this really was an Afghan army soldier who was secretly working for the Taliban. John?
That would certainly be troubling. Chris Lawrence for us tonight. Chris, thanks so much. And in just a few minutes' time, Gary Burnson, a decorated former CIA